a warm welcome to our special report, the program that brings you a ground zero view from whichever part of the country the Rajya Sabha TV cameras are travelling. This week we are touring Haryana. Which is known to have the lowest sex ratio, daughterless families and screaming headlines which always said, what will Haryana do without the girl child?
माँ, मेरे हाथों पे किस्मत की लकीरें भी नहीं बनाई और उनसे पहले ही आप सबने मेरी तकदीर का फैसला सुना दिया।
But for the last 2 years, there has been a marginal improvement. You might not call this change perceptible, but it is making a difference at the ground level, which is impacting the social and the cultural fabric of the Haryanvi society. Over the next 30 minutes, we take a look at female feticide and the changing scenario. Haryana shot to notoriety for killing its girls. The girl child was long considered undesirable by the patriarchal families of the state. Social change, pressure from civil groups and an increase in awareness triggered by a high literacy rate have begun to reflect in the attitude towards a girl child. Rajya Sabha TV crew travelled to the interiors of Haryana to study the changing social reality. We now have reached the Bibipur village of Jeend district, which not only figures on the national but also on the global map. It has achieved milestones not only in female feticide but has also got the Global Excellence Award for Panchayati Raj system because it created the first digital panchayat of the country. Change is palpable in this nondescript village of Bibipur in Jeend district of Haryana. Street slogans and awareness campaigns led by women have begun to show an impact. 25-year-old Sunil Jaglan, the Sarpanch of the village, has been the driving force. He left his job as a maths teacher to fight female feticide in Haryana.
29 मई को सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की टीम ने गांव को विजिट किया। फिर उन्होंने औरतों से बात की। औरतों ने भी बताया कि ये लगातार एफर्ट कर रहा है इसमें। तो फिर उन्होंने परमिशन दी हमें और उनकी परमिशन से 18 जून 2012 को कन्या भ्रूण हत्या जैसे संजीदा विषय पर महिला ग्राम सभा हुई। हमारे गांव में तो पहली बार उस दिन चौपाल में महिलाएं गई थी।
Earlier, the ritual of thumping the thalis or the plates was practiced to celebrate the birth of a male child. But here these villagers are celebrating the birth of a girl child. Bibipur village has been awarded 1 crore for its healthy child sex ratio.
काफी कन्या ने जन्म लिया है यहाँ पाछे हमने खुद जा जाकर ना भाई कन्या देखी भी है और खुशी मनाई है कन्या की और आगे भी नु पूरी तहकीकात नु रखा हाँ भाई कोई गलत काम करने खातिर तैयार ना हो ली.
In any particular village, Chaupal is a Hindi term for a platform where village elderlies, including the panchayat members, sit and decide on an important issue like female feticide. But by convention, in none of the villages of Haryana, women are encouraged to attend a Chaupal. All these women who are standing beside me, they have gathered together here to attend a Chaupal. And that Chaupal is going to announce an important decision on female feticide. Congregation of elderly men and women at village Chaupals have played a role in changing the mindset towards the girl child.
जो हमारे आजकल के बच्चे हैं तो वे कहते हैं नहीं, वो लड़के से वनस्पति से बैल बंद क्यों होती है, लड़की भी तो वनस्पति चलाती है। इस वजह से हमारे बच्चों में और हमारी जो आजकल के महिला है इनमें बहुत फर्क आया हुआ है।
Right now, we are at a village called Jaisinghpura in the Karnal district, which has recently been given the award for the highest sex ratio. It's not only this village, but many villages like these in the entire state of Haryana have followed the leaf. You call it a perceptual change or some kind of a social churning, but that's the reality of Haryana now. Village Jaisinghpura in Karnal district. At the helm of Panchayat is a lady Sarpanch, Savita Devi, who is pulling out all the stops to educate women on female feticide. On her tutorial tours, we got a feel of what the campaign's sum and substance is.
आंगनबाड़ी वर्कर, आशा वर्कर, मतलब इनको साथ में लेके इनको साथ में लेके भी हमने मोटिवेट घर घर जाकर मोटिवेट कराया। मतलब भी बोरण हत्या एक माह भी साहब।
कितने सालों से ये मुहिम आपकी चल रही है?
मैडम 2 साल से चल रही है। जो भूरण हत्या में है भागी, मानवता का है अपराधी, ज्ञान विज्ञान अपनाना होगा, अंधविश्वास को मिटाना होगा।
Savita's consistent efforts earned the village an award for the highest sex ratio.
हमें इस अवार्ड तक पहुंचने के लिए बहुत सारा हार्ड वर्क करना पड़ा। जैसे कि इसमें एक ही बंदे ने कॉर्पोरेट नहीं किया, पूरे विलेज ने हमें कॉर्पोरेट किया। ये सारा बंदों सारे पर्सन्स के कॉर्पोरेशन के उससे हल हुआ है।
There is a healthy competition brewing between the villages for the award for improving child sex ratio in Haryana. Right now we are at a village called Sharfali Kheri, which is on the borders of Kaithal and Karnal district. This particular village has never had a history of even a single case of female feticide. But most significantly, this village is known as the pensioners village because you find the highest number of pensioners in this particular village in the entire state of Haryana. This village has achieved several milestones for baby nutrition and maternal care. Sarpanch Joginder Singh is leaving no stone unturned in educating the people about female feticide. But he feels that the state government has been unfair in not giving an award to his village.
हमारे को इतना खेद है, हमारे को इतनी शर्मिंदगी है बतलाते हुए भी हम इतना काम करने पे हरियाणा नंबर 1 हमारा गांव है। भ्रूण हत्या में मुस्लिम ऐसा हमारा कोई केस नहीं है आज तक हुआ। भी जो हमारी महिलाएं जो पता लगा हुआ भी डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं, हमारी महिलाएं इतनी जागरूक हैं भी वो इस मसले में पड़ते नहीं हैं। और हम आपका धन्यवाद करते हैं राज्यसभा टीवी का, और जिन्होंने हमारा ये दुख दर्द ये समझा, हमारे को पढ़ा आनकर।
Many Panchayat members complained that the money given in the name of awareness campaign of female feticide is almost a cipher because state governments give the grants majorly in the name of infrastructure. So how does one carry out the awareness campaign? Because you need posters, you need banners, you need a dedicated group of people who go door to door. So in such a scenario, many times the village elderlies and the Panchayat members both coordinate their efforts. They donate money to sustain the awareness campaign for female feticide. Khar Panchayats or caste councils in Haryana are not behind when it comes to fighting female feticide. Mahapanchayats are held time and again, and the young males are taking the lead.
डर आपको किस बात का है कि
मैम ये है कि शादी नहीं होगी, बेटियां नहीं होगी तो दुल्हन हम कहाँ से लाएंगे?
Village elders at these panchayats are concerned about the declining sex ratio.
मानना तो बराबर का हक है, लड़की का भी लड़के का भी। लड़की बगैर नहीं काम चलता, लड़के बगैर भी काम नहीं चलता, दोनों ज़रूरी है।
तो लड़कियों की ज़रूरत थी, समाज को, हमारे गांव को, हमारे एरिए को लड़कियां नहीं मिल रही थी शादी के लिए। तो लड़कियां कहाँ से आएंगी, बाहर से तो आएंगी नहीं। तो वो प्रॉब्लम को देखते हुए सभी ने इरादा किया भाई लड़की ही पैदा करें। एक के घर में 2-2, 3-3 लड़कियां हैं, लड़का एक ही है।
Despite several awareness campaigns against female feticide, certain traditions are still followed. These traditions have a direct connection with the declining population of women. Right now, we are in the Vidhan Sabha constituency of Vasant in a village called Popra. This village is known for its road community, which practices the barter or the exchange of girls within the families. But how do they do it? Let's take a look. The Roar community of Haryana has been practicing exchange of girls mandatorily under the pressure of a custom. Satyapal and Kamla have 2 daughters and 2 sons, but because of the social barter system, which in local parlance is called Anta Shanta, they married their girls into those families only which had the option of giving 2 girls in return.
पहले थी अच्छा पहले फिर बीच में छूट गई थी पढ़ाई लिखाई के हिसाब से नौकरियां के हिसाब से अच्छा ई फिर वो लागू हो गया
लड़कियों की कमी थी जिसके अगर लड़की थी वो अपने लड़की दे के बहू ले आता था जिसके अगर लड़कियां नहीं है उसके लड़के की रिश्ता भी कोई नहीं करता तो ये पहले से चली हुई है और पहले समय की मजबूरी थी लोगों में शिक्षा की कमी थी
Under the garb of these customs, trafficking of girls flourished in states like Haryana. Families admit that they had to purchase girls from other states. But now the scenario is different. Anti-trafficking activists say things are changing.
पहले हरियाणा में और पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश और पंजाब के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा ट्रैफिकिंग की घटनाएं होती थी और उसको लेकर के पुलिस इतना मुस्तैद नहीं थी लेकिन आज जैसे जैसे ये बदलाव आ रहा है तो उसके साथ साथ ट्रैफिकिंग की घटनाएं बहुत कम हो रही हैं
Haryana and Punjab are known for their milking culture, their liking for milk, lassi and chaach. This evening time is the most precious time when the cows or the buffaloes are being milked. Now let me try. मैं try करूँ? अरे ये तो निकल ही नहीं रहा है. I don't think it's going to be possible and I can't do it. Let me take a break at this point in time, return with lots more on the other side. We've now reached Kaithal, which was the first district in the entire state to be given an award for the high sex ratio. This change in the Haryanvi society has its reflection in the bureaucracy as well. The administration and the police have joined the healthy competition to ensure that their area has a healthy child sex ratio.
पिछले कई महीनों से विभिन्न गांवों में जाके नाइट कैंपेनिंग की गई है उसके दौरान लोगों को इस बारे में मोटिवेट किया जाता है कि भी फीमेल फिटसाइज के लिए आप लोग अवेयर रहें इस तरह की हरकतें ना हो जहाँ तक लास्ट ईयर के मुकाबले देखा जाए तो इस बार काफ़ी सुधार है
जब सीएम साहब हमारे यहाँ आए थे कल्पना चावला मेडिकल कॉलेज का नींव पत्थर रखने के लिए तो हमने एक रथ की उनके हाथों से शुरुआत कराई और उस रथ को लेकर के हम पूरे ज़िले में घूमे ज़िले के हर एक गांव में और हमने लोगों को लड़की की अहमियत के बारे में बताया
There was a time when former Chief Minister of Haryana, Om Prakash Chautala, used to pronounce in public meetings his responsibility to marry of the boys in his state. From then, the political priorities have changed. Parties no longer see female feticide as an election issue.
हमने ये प्रॉमिस किया था पब्लिक से कि अगर हमारी पार्टी सत्ता में आएगी तो हम लोगों को इस मामले में बहुत ज़्यादा एजुकेट करेंगे लोगों को इंसेंटिव देंगे कि जिसके घर में बेटी पैदा होगी हम उसको एक गारंटी देंगे कि कल जब तेरी बच्ची बड़ी होगी तब तक हम उस बच्ची के नाम से कुछ ना कुछ पैसे सरकार की तरफ से जमा करेंगे
The 11th five-year plan has targeted a 20-point increase in the child sex ratio in Haryana, and to achieve this ambitious target, the government has initiated several socio-economic measures. But at the same time, the government has also taken a pledge to change the cultural norms so that the Haryanvi society becomes more sensitive towards the girl child. The Government of India launched Dhan Lakshmi scheme to provide financial incentives for families for better upbringing of the girl child. Under this scheme, an insurance cover to the tune of 1 lakh is provided to the girl child at birth. A total cash package of around 2 lakh is provided to the girl's family, preferably to the mother through the scheme.
हमारी बहुत सारी स्कीम्स हैं जैसे बहुत छोटी स्कीम है वैसे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की एक धन लक्ष्मी वो पायलट पे चल रही है और जैसे ही हमें पता चला इससे फ़र्क पड़ा है तो इसको हम पूरे देश में लागू कर सकते हैं
रोशनी वो बढ़ेगी अपने जीवन।
Similarly, under the Ladli scheme of the Haryana government, all residents of the state are eligible for a financial incentive of 5,000 rupees per year for up to 5 years if they have a second child born on or after 20th August 2005. ये क्या पढ़ रहे हो? संस्कृत पढ़ रहे हो? ये सारे शब्द आपको आते हैं? वाओ, मुझे तो नहीं आता. There are numerous national and international standards and commitments which not only prohibit female feticide but also mandate the protection of the girl child. Further, they also seek to empower women and the Indian states which are bound by these statutes. Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948, Beijing Declaration and the Vienna Declaration and Program of Action bind all nations to recognize the right of every child to be protected against any prejudice or discrimination. Empirical formula over the years has reflected that the shortage of women lead to a distorted society, increase in violence against women, emergence of polyandry, which further leads to conflict and violence. But changing social behavior does not take away the focus from a grim reality. A continuing preference for boys in society, the child sex ratio in India has dropped to 914 females against 1,000 males, the lowest since independence according to 2011 census. Though an improving trend in the child sex ratio between 0 to 6 years has been seen in Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Mizoram and Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the child sex ratio showed a decline over census 2001.
The people who are more educated, who are more aware and who are richer and who have the wherewithal to look after male and female children equally are choosing to have just male children.
Civil society initiatives, apart from their advocacy campaign, use a number of imageries, slogans and symbols to convey anti-abortion messages. Common use of terms like murder, feticide and slaughter do have a dramatic effect, but at the same time, they threaten the woman's right to safe abortion. Punjab and Haryana, which have traditionally seen low child sex ratio, have recorded an improvement but still remain at the bottom of the list. Haryana has 830 female children and Punjab 846 for 1,000 male children. Various layers of bureaucracy were created at the centre and the state for the effective implementation of the Pre-Selection and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Act, which was passed by Parliament in 1994 and became operational in 1995. But time and again, there have been complaints about the laxity of implementation and also about government's inertia. A legislation passed by Parliament had been instrumental in arresting female feticide. Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques, that is PCPP-NDT Act 1994, bans prenatal sex determination and has succeeded to some extent in creating fear in the minds of the doctors as well as the would-be parents. Despite laws and policies protecting women and girls, the girl child in India faces daunting odds to be born, to grow up, and also in choosing her own destiny. Haryana, being a dominant patriarchal society, further heightens the prejudice against the girl child. Time and again, the apex court has cited the lack of proper supervision and effective implementation of the act by various states. But the civil society has taken up the issue. It's fun playing with these little girls in the village, but let me tell you, they perhaps realize the seriousness of female feticide. They mustn't be understanding it to the core, but they know that female feticide is all about killing of a girl child. Let's take a break at this point in time, return with lots more on the other side. Welcome back. You're watching our special report on female feticide and the changing scenario. There was a time when the state governments were casually granting licenses to the ultrasound clinics. But it was only after the Supreme Court's intervention that these unregistered clinics were impounded and their machines seized and sealed for the time being. Medical and social audits in the past have revealed lack of proper supervision and effective implementation of the PCP-NDT Act. Ultrasound machines used for sex determination in violation of the provisions of the Act are seldom seized. And even if seized, they were released to the lawbreakers who repeat the crime.
Doctors, as such, they who wanted to earn money, they started this practice in the society. They had their nursing homes in private, and they started female ultrasounds and the female feticide.
But intervention by the Supreme Court in the form of directives to the centre and the states has now put a tight leash on these ultrasonography clinics, which now maintain records as per the rules.
Supreme Court has now clearly told the state government, especially Haryana government, because sex ratio is quite low in our state, that you have to implement the act in true letter and spirit.
Laws certainly empower the governments to act, but the fundamental question is, can the government or the Supreme Court alone usher in social transformation of the society? The Central Supervisory Board and the State and Union Territory Supervisory Boards, constituted under Sections 7 and 16A of the PCP-NDT Act, are supposed to meet at least once in 6 months to supervise the implementation of the Act. The State Advisory Committees and the District Advisory Committees gather information on the breach of the provisions of the Act and the rules and take steps to seize records, seal machines and institute legal proceedings in case of any violation. Now joining me on this whole issue is Chief Minister of Haryana, Bhupinder Singh Hooda. Sir, welcome to our special program and appreciate your joining here on Rajya Sabha TV. We've seen various initiatives which have been taken by your state government to fight female feticide. But what really is the biggest hurdle before you when you are fighting such issues?
I don't think there is any hurdle, but actually mindset, it is changing. Right. See, we have brought many new policies, new initiatives for women empowerment. Those who are having only girl child, normally we give old age pension at the age of 60, right. But those who are having girl child only will give at the age of 50. Right. And any electric connection in the name of woman and name of the property in the woman and connection, we give 10 paisa per unit concession.
So, Khap Panchayats have been a very important component of the Haryanvi society, and obviously they have played a very important role in transforming the Haryanvi society. A lot of negativity has come on them. But how do you think, are you able to connect with the Khap Panchayats in fighting this kind of a malaise?
Actually, Khap Panchayats don't have any legal sanctity. Okay. Khap is combination of all castes of particular area. And they work as NGO.
So we went from one district to the other. We covered a number of districts with the villages, and definitely we've seen a beginning, some kind of a good change which is happening in the Haryanvi society. But then you have dark spots like Mahendragarh, Jhajjar, where the child sex ratio is still quite poor, very abysmal.
In Jhajjar, Mahendragarh, there is improvement. Okay. From 0 to 6, there is improvement.
Okay.
Gurgaon is a cosmopolitan city, what can I say? If I conclude that prosperity leads to that, I can't say anything. Whatever conclusion you can draw.
So overall there is an improvement. And so what does your sense say? In how many years can we actually see the population of the girls and the boys being at par in Haryana? Roughly, a rough figure.
You see, looking into the improvement we are having, right. So let's see, from last 5-6 years, every year there's 4 or 5 point improvement there. Maybe next decade.
Okay, so in about 10 years you're saying that...
because 0 to 6 there is improvement.
Right.
So it is going to improvement like that.
I am proud of being a girl.
Night moves slowly to meet the dawn and dissolves in it. Baby, dive into ocean of your dreams, 'cause I can't be.
The famous poet Alfred Tennyson had said, "Old order changeth, yielding place to new." That new change, that new order has begun to show green shoots. At least a small beginning has been made somewhere. But it's a tall order because it needs a radical restructuring so that the perverted, distorted and daughterless families don't become the torchbearers of Indian society. On that note, time for us to wrap up this edition of Special Report. From our entire team, which includes camera persons DK Pandey and Dharmendra Dubey, goodbye and thanks for watching.